Hi, my name is Courtney Holland, and I'm here today working on assignment 8 from chapters 2 and 3 of our Understanding by Design textbook, dealing with making sure we are clarifying the understanding we are seeking for our students. In order to do this, we must have goals set and planned ahead of time so that we are ensuring that our students gain the knowledge that we are trying to get them to have. The National Council of Teachers of Mathematics Principles to Action book actually supports this idea. They have 8 mathematics teaching practices that they suggest, and the very first one is to establish mathematical goals to focus learning. So I just wanted to point out that it's not just our textbook that thinks this is a good idea. There are other books out there and many other researchers that support this idea of doing a backwards design and setting our goals for our students. So for this assignment, I chose to do a lesson over the concept of slope. Slope is a huge topic in mathematics that many students never fully connect. As the text point out on page 67, we do not want our big ideas to necessarily mean huge in content, but more of the core of the subject. Slope is definitely at the core of every algebra classroom across the country. Excuse me. So first I want to point out my established goals. They kind of align with the TEKS, or the learning outcome of we want to be able, students to be able to overarchingly to determine the slope of a line given any representation, whether it be a table of values, a graph, 2 points on a line, or any equation, whether it be in slope-intercept form or point-slope form or standard form. We also want them to be able to calculate the rate of change of a linear function and understand how that works on a table, a graph, or even with a mathematical word problem. We want them to see all of these connections with slope. So oftentimes students can use the formula that some of you may remember, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or they can do rise over run, but they never see how this relates to the real world or where slope is seen in the real world. Every year when I teach slope, I strive to make the students truly understand this concept. As the text points out, to truly understand something, students must be able to go beyond these rote formulas to explore the actual meaning. So by starting with the big idea of slope, we can then take the different techniques and patterns that emerge throughout the lesson, and students can gain a deeper understanding of slope. My goal is for them to be able to transfer, which the book on page 40 points out is the main thing that understanding is about. I want them to be able to transfer their base knowledge of how slope works into an application problem. So my desired understandings are that students will understand that slope is a way to represent a rate at which something is changing. And also students will understand that slope is seen in many mathematical as well as real-world scenarios. I will be able to tell if my students have the understanding I need them to have by evaluating the scenarios that they create and seeing if they're able to properly identify how that scenario represents a constant rate of change. So if they can make that connection and understand slope, they'll be able to do any of the rote skills that I need them to know how as well. So there's often misconceptions and misunderstandings that can occur when dealing with slope, and I fully expect my students to have some of these misconceptions, but hopefully by approaching this more from the real world, they'll be able to see more what's happening. So to extend, I would like my essential question will be, what is slope and how does it connect to the real world? Again, students in math are always asking the question, when will I use this in real life? So anytime we can make that connection, I feel that they have a lot deeper understanding. And then finally, my students will be able to find the slope given a table of values, graph, 2 points, equation, or verbal scenario, and students will be able to create their own scenario of a situation that has a constant rate of change, also justifying their reason for their scenario having a constant rate of change. So those are just the key knowledge and skills that I want them to have at the end of the lesson. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.